Last night at the Hog's Bog Tavern, the annual meeting of the Sneaky Sorcerers Society caused a great amount of confusion and some hilarity. None of the 5 sorcerers that attended appeared to be sorcerers. They were all disguised as other classes. One appeared to be a bard, one seemed like a cleric, one was a convincing imitation of a druid, one passed as a monk, and the last made everyone believe they were a rogue. Each sorcerer was limited to casting different levels of spells. One sorcerer was only able to cast level 0 spells. Another was able to cast those in level 1 spells. Another could cast spells from level 0, 1, or 2. The 4th sorcerer could cast spells from levels 0, 1, 2, or 3. And the most experienced sorcerer was able to cast spells from level 0 through 4. Each sorcerer was of a different alignment. One was neutral good, one was lawful neutral, one was neutral, one was chaotic neutral, and the last was neutral evil. Each of the sorcerers played a trick on another patron in the tavern. One of the patrons started hearing sounds that had no obvious source. Ghost sound, level 0. One of the patrons hit a patch of invisible grease, level 1. The other patrons couldn't tell if she was drunk, dancing, or both. One patron accused the pseudo-cleric of preaching at him to repent, repent, but it was actually one of the other sorcerers practicing some ventriloquism, which is level 1. One patron's mug apparently fell over by itself, but when the patron went to grab it, it was still upright and full. The sorcerer was practicing his silent image spell, level 1. And the remaining sorcerer cast an illusory wall spell, level 4, to obscure the doors to the restrooms. Based on the clues given below, can you figure out which class of character each sorcerer appeared to be, which sorcerer cast which spell, what level their spell casting was limited to, and what their alignments were? Number 1. The sorcerer that cast Ghost Sound was not the sorcerer that seemed to be the cleric or the rogue. The sorcerer that seemed to be the rogue was not of neutral good alignment. Number 2. The sorcerer with the neutral evil alignment was able to cast any of the spells that were used last night. Number 3. The sorcerer that looked like a druid was able to cast higher level spells than the sorcerer that looked like a bard. The one looked like a bard was able to cast higher level spells than the sorcerer that appeared to be a rogue. Number 4. The sorcerer that appeared to be a bard was of neutral alignment. Number 5. The sorcerer that was able to cast level 4 spells chose not to appear as a druid. He is the one that suggested silent image spell, and the gag it was used for, to the sorcerer that was of neutral alignment. Number 6. The sorcerer that used ventriloquism spell was of chaotic neutral alignment and appeared to be a druid. Note that the levels indicated on the worksheet are not the levels of the spells that were cast. Instead, they are the maximum level of spells that each sorcerer was able to cast. To use the worksheet, mark a cell with a dot when you find a positive correlation between one of the things along the left edge and one of the things across the top. For example, you can tell from the background information that the illusory wall spell is a level 4 spell. Therefore, you place a dot in the cell that associates illusory wall on the left with level 4 along the top. Once you find a positive correlation, you can mark off 4 associated negative correlations along each axis. For example, if you have a dot in the cell for illusory wall and level 4, you can place an X in each of the following cells: illusory wall and level 0, illusory wall and level 1, illusory wall and level 2, illusory wall and level 3, ghost sound and level 4, grease and level 4, silent image and level 4, and finally ventriloquism and level 4. If you can establish 4 negative correlations in a group along one axis, you have proven that the 5th cell in that group is a positive correlation. As above, if you mark a positive correlation with a dot in the cell, mark the negative correlations along the other axis with an X. If you discover that you have established 5 X's for a group of 5, or that you have 1 dot for a group of 5, or that you have more than 1 dot for a group of 5, But you need to put a dot where there's already an X, or vice versa. You've done something wrong.